It's Friday night. Oh man, it's Friday night. A lot of stuff to go over. I am halfway through my mock draft. I have an energy drink. I've not had an energy drink in a couple weeks, but I am really jacked up. Want to be jacked up. Big news in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is a Miami Dolphin. I did not expect that. I am halfway through my mock draft, and hey, man. All right. If you can see here, I'm going to go back and forth here while I'm doing comments. I'll be on this mode, and then I'll switch here so you can kind of see everything. By the way, all this is that this simply is my website. You can go www.thedanshow.net, and you can kind of see my mock draft 1 through 16. I am halfway done. I'm going to play around and do some things to kind of spice this up a little bit. But what I did is that I just put the picks in there 1 through 16. And then I put some options down. I think what I might do is do like my mock draft and then do a like one thing it could be, this is my pick and then secondary pick and have that off to the side. So anyway, I am going ahead. I'm going to double check to make sure everything is good. I'm good on YouTube. I should be posting live to Facebook. And I am also posting live on Twitter. So you get me on Twitter or Facebook, or you can get me on good old YouTube. So let's start here. Jacksonville, I still have them going Evan Neal. I'm paying attention to the Cam Robinson contract situation. The thing is, if Cam Robinson does sign a long-term deal, then I'll probably go to the defensive side of ball, and I think it could be Kayvon Thibodeau, it could be a Trayvon Walker, who's been building up a lot of momentum ever since his excellent combine. But as of right now, I really like Neal. However, Ikwanu, butchering that name. I keep more and more I watch, see clips of him, the more and more I think he might be the pick. I mean, this is a natural left tackle. His movement skills are so smooth. Jacksonville, I think, under Doug Peterson is going to be a passing team. So I'm kind of leaning towards Ikwanu instead of Neal, but Neal's still my number one pick at this point. Detroit at 2. Aiden Hutchinson is still the pick. I feel really good about this. I mean, this to me is a no-brainer if you're the Detroit Lions. Take the guy who has got the highest floor in the draft. I mean, to me, this is an absolute no-brainer. I could see them trading down with either Carolina or Atlanta. You could go Thibodeau. You could go Walker if you want to use a pure 3-4 outside linebacker. But this is kind of what I got right now. I think Hutchinson just makes a lot of sense for Detroit. Next up, I got Kayvon Thibodeau going to Houston at 3. It could be Walker. It could be a trade down. Anything could happen with Houston Texans, of course, with the Deshaun Watson trade. But I really like Thibodeau. I mean, this just makes a lot of sense for this pick. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And number 4, the Jets. If Ikwanu is available, and I really don't think he's going to be available at 4, you could trade down. Sauce Gardner. In this wide 9 defense, secondary's not really that big of a concern. They picked up a corner and safety in the draft, but man, you got some really good wide receivers in this division. So I'm thinking that maybe you go ahead, you take the best corner in the draft. You could also trade down. You could definitely trade down. Next, the New York Giants at 5-7. I put could be anything because you have a new regime. You have a new coach. So, I mean, it's really hard to say what they think was the number one priority. Kyle Hamilton, to me, you need a safety. Why not put Kyle Hamilton there? That makes a lot of sense to me. That's kind of what I'm liking. Carolina at 6. I think they should go tackle. Okay. I really 100% believe that Carolina should go tackle. This is what I would do if I was the Carolina Panthers, but they've kind of been adamant. They were heavy into the Deshaun Watson trade situation. So I think Carolina is going to go quarterback. I would go left tackle. I would roll with Darnold. That's what I would do. But the way it is in my mock draft, there is no trades. But I do think Carolina could trade up. I think that when everything's said and done, I really think Carolina and Detroit are going to make a trade. Next up is the New York Giants. Again, they could be up for anything, but Charles Cross makes a lot of sense. Super athletic tackle. I really like the idea of Hamilton and Charles Cross together. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. The Atlanta Falcons, I think that they could also be a candidate to trade up with Detroit. I personally think that they like Pickett more than Willis, but again, in my mock draft, there are no trades. So Pickett would be 6. Willis is number 8. Seattle, Trevor Penning. Seattle, I keep saying this over and over again. The Seattle Seahawks are a team that can do absolutely anything in the draft. So, Trevor Penning, I'm going to go. It just seems like he's a guy that the Seattle Seahawks really like. Just seems to me to be a Pete Carroll type of guy. But Seattle could be up for anything. Slasher, what's up, brother? Man, I was going in order, but I'd love to hear from you. I did my video today. Picks number 15 and 16 for your Eagles. I love the mock for the Eagles. I'm sorry here. I love the mock for the Eagles. Huge on Trayvon. Yeah, I before the combine, he was a late first rounder. Now there's some talk about him going number 1 overall. In my mock draft, he falls down, but I don't see how he gets past the Eagles at all. Bottom line, if you watch the video, not a day 1 starter, but so much upside. So Trayvon Walker to me is kind of a no-brainer. And then you also get Treylon Burks, who I have at 16. Treylon Burks at 16. He's my number 1 wide receiver. If the Eagles like Drake London, the USC wideout, better, I could see them going that route. That was almost my pick. It's just I like Burks more. And one thing I like about Burks is that I wouldn't even be surprised if you play some tailback. I wouldn't be surprised to put him in the backfield. I think that much of him. That's my opinion. But love to hear what you think. On my website here, number 10 New York Jets, Devonta Wyatt is the pick. This is a reach But I think Devonta Wyatt, I just love the fit for that wide 9 defense. You could go defensive end. You could also go Gardner. Also here. Yeah, no. If somehow he falls to us, which is possible, we would 100% grab him. He would sit behind Graham and Sweat. Exactly. Before we can learn this. And I love Burks. Yeah, I think that one thing that I really think when I look at my draft, I really don't think the Eagles are interested in trading. A lot of people say you have to trade. Why do they have to trade? When I look at the Eagles, why not add 3 mid-first round picks to your team? You're a playoff team last year. Instead of getting one guy, why don't you get 3 guys? And you could. By the way, I'm not going to reveal who the third player is, but if they get if they get Walker, they get Burks, they get the other guy who I got picking at 19. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC. I really think that they're the team to beat. I think you're going to like my pick at 19. I think I already have it. London has some iffy injury history. Never played a full season, but he did produce when he was out there. He's not like DK go. No, I'm not really high on. I personally was not very high on London myself. He's not my number one guy. That's something that the Eagles brass is going to have to figure out. But give me the guy that put London's best film against Burks' best film, and Burks blows him away. And Burks' best films against Alabama. London, what game did he have his best film at? Against Washington State, maybe. Bottom line, Burks had a monster game against Alabama. I mean, that's 11 first-round draft picks that he's going against. And the best thing about Burks is that the quarterback who's throwing him the ball is going to be an NFL fullback or tight end. Maybe a linebacker. I'm not saying this to be facetious. He's 6'2", 240 and can run, but he's nowhere near an NFL caliber passer. So if he does make it to the NFL, he's going to play a different position. So you got that guy, and Burks is putting up monster numbers with a guy who throws about 50% completion percentage. So I personally really like Burks a lot. That's kind of my situation. I'm not high on London at all. Not as high on London. So I would actually, I don't do big boards, but if I had to go through the receivers, I would put Burks 1. I would put Olave at 2. Maybe Wilson at 3, the other Ohio State wideout. Maybe I might put Jamison Williams. He's coming off of an injury, but I might put Williams. Actually, I would put Williams at 2, even though he's coming off an injury. Olave at 3, Wilson 4, and then London at 5. I think the NFL Network has them flip-flopped. Actually, Bucky Brooks does the top 5 by position, and he just took Treylon Burks off his top 5. I think he put Christian Watson, the North Dakota State wide receiver, above him. He's a good player. Next up, I got the Washington Commanders. I just got a feeling they really like Derek Stingley. This just seems to be a Washington type pick. I mean, you got some holes on that Washington team, but you really got to fix up that secondary. In my mock draft, it's Stingley and Gardner are available. You could also go offensive line. Just a hunch. I think if Stingley's available, he's going to be a Washington Commander. Next up, Minnesota. Minnesota's been active in free agency. Normally, when you go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, you have to make multiple personnel changes. They've actually done a really good job in free agency filling the holes on defense. The one thing they haven't done is really got a corner. That's why I like Gardner here. Minnesota could be a team that would want to trade down, add more pieces to that puzzle, but It looks like they filled up all the holes on defense. I think offensively, they're ready to roll right now as is. So, but my opinion, if Gardner's available, this would be a great pick for Minnesota. Next up, 13, Houston. I love Devin Lloyd. I have a massive, massive, massive man crush on Devin Lloyd. This would be my pick. If I'm the Houston Texans, I would take Thibodeau and I would take Lloyd. You could go wide receiver here, according to my mock draft. Every wide receiver is available. You need weapons to build around a young quarterback, but in my opinion, man, if Devin Lloyd's available, this is a plug-and-play type of guy. Slasher says, I love those Ohio State guys, but I don't think they'll end up falling to us unless London gets picked up before one of them. In my mock draft, both of them are available. Both are available. And to be honest with you, they may keep falling in the draft. But, yeah, I do like them both myself because you got two of them. And you also have London. I have Burks as my number one. So, yeah. Funk, what's up, brother? What's good? I'm out on Christian Watson. Dude has a 13% drop rate when he was open a lot when he dropped it. I did not know that. Man. I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad you joined. I'm glad you chimed in, man. I did not know that. I haven't watched much of him, but I do know that there's a lot of people are really, really high on him. A lot of people are really, really high on him. I don't think, like I said, I really think Houston could go wide receiver. You got a young quarterback. You need weapons. But if I'm Houston, I build the defense up. That's what I do. 14, full disclosure, I actually had Jordan Davis before the combine going to Pittsburgh in a surprise pick. But after the combine, I don't see a way that Baltimore passes on him. He replaces Calais Campbell. I'm taking this off the NFL Network. The NFL Network compares him to Haloti Ngata, who played a 5 technique in Baltimore. He wasn't a 0 technique. He was a 5 technique, and that's exactly what Calais Campbell played. So Jordan Davis, I think, fits that mold. Look at the division that you're in. You have 3 stud running backs in this division. You're a great run defense. There's no doubts about that. But I do like that. The idea of adding a center to that defense makes a lot of sense. And then today I did my video for the Philadelphia Eagles. I personally, everybody keeps saying the Eagles are going to trade up. I don't think so. If I'm the Eagles, somebody's going to fall in this draft that's worthy of a top 10 to 12 pick. Okay, you get one of the Ohio State wide receivers. Here I got Burks. Trayvon Walker, some people have him now going number 1. In my mock draft, he falls to 15. Let's say Walker's already gone. You could take Jermaine Johnson. When if Thibodeau free falls, you could get him maybe. Or what about, I already said Jermaine Johnson, but if I'm the Eagles, I stay pat and I get these 2 guys. The third player who I have going at 19, I don't want to ruin it, but if I'm the Eagles and I got these 3 guys that I'm thinking about, you Eagles fans should be very happy. Slasher, man, I'd love to know what you think, man. What do you want the Eagles to do? Amazement, what's up, brother, man? He says, what's up, Dan? Damn, this offseason is crazy. Another trade of Tyreek and the Dolphins. What do you think was the okay? I'm glad you asked. The team responsible for this trade was some teams playing chess, some teams playing checkers. Give credit to this team to the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me explain. It was public knowledge that Tyreek Hill was on the final year of a 4-year, $76 million, I think $76, $78 million contract. Chiefs gave him a lot of money. And he was entering the last year of his contract. The Chiefs were public that they were going to extend him. What did the Raiders do? They traded for Devonta Adams. They reset the wide receiver market. They blew up the receiver market, and they gave him so much money that if Tyreek Hill was going to come close to Devonta Adams, he would only get that money from another football team. So here's what happened. The Chiefs, the agent for Tyreek Hill was working with the Chiefs. Then the Devonta Adams trade comes in, and he says, well, if we want this much money? Chiefs said, we can't afford it. We just, and they can't. They're giving $500 million to Mahomes. They got a lot of money invested in Frank Clark. They got a lot of money in Chris Jones. Today we lost Sorensen. We lost Chardavius Ward, our starting corner. Michael Hughes, our nickel corner. The Honey Badger, our starting safety. Travis Kelce gets quite a bit of money. By the way, Kelce, when he redid his contract, he took less money than Kittle. Which one's better? If Kittle's healthy, maybe Kittle, but bottom line, Kelce, is going to be healthy, and Kittle, you never know. But anyway, so then what happened was he said, well, Tyreek Hill wants to be the highest paid wide receiver in football. And this is an agent's job. This is what he gets paid to do. This is what he's supposed to do. And the chief said, well, if he wants to be the highest paid wide receiver, we can't do it. But what would be the offer? And then they started shipping offers. The Jets offered similar trade compensation. They were going to offer their two number twos and a third, which is not bad. The two number twos that the Jets were going to offer were going to be 35 and 38. And I call those the gold picks. 33 through 39, I call the gold picks. And the reason why is that a lot of times you can get first round player, but you get them for a fraction of the cost. And those are great picks to have. The Chiefs would have been great doing that, but Miami came through with the the trade compensation. So, you know what? I didn't think about it. Maybe I should put Jets could go wide receiver here at 10. Yeah, I mean, they're interested in Tyreek Hill, but so the Chiefs realized they couldn't give Tyreek Hill, so they got trade compensation. The answer was that the Raiders knew by signing Devonta Adams that they were going to go ahead and mess things up with Kansas City. If you don't think teams think like this, then you're missing the game inside the game. Years ago, when the Denver Broncos owned the Kansas City Chiefs and Peyton Manning was, getting up there in age, the Kansas City Chiefs brought in Paxton Lynch. And they were like, man, we really like this guy. They knew he wasn't an NFL quarterback. Or was it Osweiler? I always get the two mixed up. The Broncos went ahead and fell for it. And they, last I looked, they haven't beat the Chiefs in, I think 6 years. And now they just traded for Russell Wilson, and they got their hopes sky high because they whiffed in the draft. Well, teams sabotage other teams like this. I've been saying this for a while. The team to fear in the AFC West is the Raiders. Everybody's looking at the Chargers, but the Raiders have done more to improve their team than anybody else in the AFC West. And they gave a lot of money to Adams. They gave up a lot of draft capital. But if he plays like he did in Green Bay, that may be the team to beat in the AFC, may be the Raiders. They did an A+ job this offseason. Funk says Watson went from a barely a third rounder to having a big pro day, and he's a late first rounder. A lot of people shaking my head. Playing in shorts is way different. I didn't know about the drops at all. I'm kind of been going by what I've been hearing and seeing in mock drafts. So, I mean, it is different. It'll be very interesting to see. I'm going to take your word for it, Funk. I'm going to go ahead and watch some more. watch some film on him. But yeah, I've been seeing the same thing. Even after the combine, I was seeing second round. Now I'm seeing first. So yeah. Amazement. Hill saw the Juju and Mahomes coming, and it was like, I want nothing to do with this. Chiefs did get a ton of picks in the deal, so I think. Oh yeah, listen. The Chiefs have 8 picks in the first 4 rounds: 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. The Chiefs are going to get very creative during the draft because they don't need 8 players. So you're going to see some movement. You're going to see some movement. So I find it a little funny now that Green Bay and Kansas City have moved to wide receiver. Everybody's talking about how they now more wide receivers go in the first, but the Raiders and the Finn don't make those trades, wouldn't they? It's kind of funny because in my mock draft, my first wide receiver goes off the board at 16. I think there may be one of these guys who thought they were going to go in the first round ends up not going in the first round. One thing, Green Bay hasn't signed. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think they've signed I know they haven't signed a big name wide receiver yet. They drafted Amari Rodgers in the 3rd round. I really, really liked Amari Rodgers. I thought that was a good move. The Packers made last year, but he barely played. He should have a big year this year. But Kansas City, they lost Tyreek Hill, but their number 1 receiver was always Travis Kelce. Then you got MVS, and then you get Juju Smith-Schuster. So, yeah. My boy Tim, what's up, man? Tim says, "What's up, son? Any truth?" No, I've not heard of that, but the answer is 100% no. And let me explain why. Here, hold on. Let me get some coffee. The reason why Brady liked the idea of going to Tampa Bay is because Bruce Arians has been a quote-unquote quarterback whisperer. He had Ben Roethlisberger, took him to some really high levels at Pittsburgh, did wonders for Andrew Luck, went to Arizona, and it's I don't know if he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but Carson Palmer had some Hall of Fame caliber seasons in Arizona. I think if Palmer instead of Carolina going to the Super Bowl, if Arizona went to the Super Bowl under Carson Palmer, we would be talking about Carson Palmer as a future NFL Hall of Famer. Palmer's like on that fringe Hall of Fame play, but Bruce Arians was a big reason why Brady left, right? Mike McDaniel, he's the former, I think, offensive coordinator of San Francisco. He's a first-time head coach. And I always say the same thing when it comes to a first-time head coach is that you don't know what you're going to get. That's why when people are talking about Denver going to the Super Bowl, well, they got first-time head coach. He's never been head coach before. Miami, first-time coach, never been head coach before. He's in the same division with Bill Belichick. And look at the Bills. The Bills have been dominating that division. So all of a sudden people are talking about Miami going to a Super Bowl because they made some acquisitions. Well, the guy maybe, his first game as a head coach, we'll have to see what he's got, man. I mean, some people aren't good head coaches. So I have not heard that. There's 0% chance that's true, though. All right, so it says fit to make trades. Have been interested in taking a wide receiver in the first round to begin with. See, actually, it's kind of funny. I actually think just the opposite, Funk. I think that because of these trades, less receivers are going to be taken in the first round. And this is a deep draft, man, as far as receivers. So, I think you can get one in the second round. It was funny. Somebody posted a comment earlier today. I think she saw part of my video, and Houston Texans fan. And she's like, "Oh, they don't need to draft a wide receiver. You get one in the second round." I posted that wasn't, I just talked about what they could do, and but anyway, I mean, I still think Houston, it makes sense for Houston to take a receiver. Just I think that Houston is going to fix up defense, but yeah, they can take a receiver. It's more likely, in my opinion, though, that it may push the receivers down a bit, I mean, the Raiders aren't going to take a receiver. I mean, I know they don't have a first-round pick, but, I don't know if Kansas City is going to take a receiver in the first round. I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. I had my mock draft set. I knew who the Chiefs are going to take at 30. I'm going to keep that pick the same. I just had no idea what they're going to do at 29. Yeah, I totally agree. Teams do that to put other teams in shambles as far as the cap situation happens in draft too. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, this is the game inside the game. This is why you follow me, man. This is why you follow me. The Raiders really did want to screw over Kansas City. And I think this is a situation where I think it hurts Kansas City and I think it hurts Tyreek Hill, because I think Tyreek Hill, if he stays in Kansas City, he's going to end up with the gold jacket. I don't know what he's going to do in Miami. And look, anybody who's going to sit here and trash Tyreek Hill for taking multi-generational wealth is silly. My boy, Big Chief Sean, he was like, he was trying to trash Tyreek Hill. And he didn't respond, but I was like, dude, you're lying if you're going to tell me you wouldn't take $120 million with 72 guaranteed to go down to South Beach for a couple of years. It wouldn't surprise me if after that contract, he ends up in Kansas City, plays like his last season in Kansas City. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It happens like that sometimes. But I do wonder if it's going to affect Tyreek Hill. I saw something on Instagram, I thought it was kind of funny, where it has a picture of Tyreek Hill saying, I'm going to go deep, and then it's oh God, what's his name from Ozark, the main character. He goes, the hell you are. It says Tua says, but yeah. Yeah, Mahomes can overthrow Tyreek Hill. I'm not sure Tua can. It'll be interesting to see what Tua does with all those weapons. First-time head coach. Big shoes fill, man. Big shoes fill. Funk says I was a fan of. Yeah, I really liked him too, man. I thought it was actually Green Bay's best pick, but I was surprised he barely played. Excuse me. I was a fan of Amari coming out of college. He was one of the guys I was telling everyone the Lions could take in the third. A lot of Lions fans wanted Waddle or Smith last year. No, I really liked him a lot. I don't know if he was hurt or, banged up. I'm not really sure what the deal was, but if you're a fantasy football fan, take Amari Rodgers sooner than later. He could have a massive season. There was talk that at the Combine that several teams, I think Green Bay was one of them, that wanted him to run running back drills because he's 5'9", about 210, 215. Some people thought he'd be a better running back in the pros, just like Derek Gibson. Derek Gibson, wide receiver at Memphis, running back in the pros. Some people thought Rodgers might fit that same thing. So, but yeah, if you're a fantasy fan, I'm going to try to come out with a fantasy video. I didn't last year. I'm going to try to come out with a fantasy video, give you some names that you can pick later in the draft. Everybody knows who taken round 1, round 2, but I'm going to try to do like some fantasy sleepers and try to put that out for you guys. I heard you guys are going after Rojo to Ronald Jones in Kansas City. We have a big hold at running back, and I'm glad. Yeah, I'm with you, Amazement, that I would have loved to see Fournette in a Chiefs uniform. I've always loved Fournette. I thought it was smart. I actually, full disclosure here, man, if Fournette wasn't signed, I would have had Tampa Bay taking a running back at 27. I would have had them taking a running back at 27, but afterwards, I changed my pick. I'm not telling you who it is. Excuse me, man. Brady to Miami thing is so ridiculous to me. Why on earth? Why would he convince so many guys to resign with us and just to leave? He personally called and spoke to Russell Gage to get him to us. I have not heard of that. Tim just threw something out, but Yeah, trust me, that's not going to happen. You're not going to go to a team with a rookie head coach and say, okay, well, I'm going to play. No, that doesn't. No, it makes no sense. Whoever said that is just throwing some stuff out there. Denver Gator, what's up? You know what? I'm going to do a video on who Denver's going to pick. I have my 64th selection already ironed out. I know who Denver's going to take. Funk showing some love here, man. Tim says, can't wait till you put out videos for the upcoming season on your bets. I think the Colts may be pretty tough. Taylor and Ryan with some good wide receivers will be a good team. Yeah, I'm already eyeballing some teams and some bets. And as general rule of thumb, I don't do anything for a first-time head coach, but I might put some action down on Denver. I think Denver, people are going nuts about Denver being a Super Bowl team. And if that's like 11.5 or 12 wins for Denver, I'm definitely taking under. I might do the Raiders over. I did the Raiders over last year. And I think if Gruden stayed there, they'd probably win an extra game or two. But I just sweat that out. Pittsburgh's a team that may be a great over too, because remember they're 8.5. And I just sweated, it's 8.5. So I had to sweat it out. They had to win the last game of the season. Baltimore's another team. Remember, they had like 5 players get injured at the beginning of the season. But I'm gonna do them. The plan is to do it right after the 4th of July. I may do it. I think 4th of July this year is on a Wednesday. I may do it like the Monday after, but yeah, man, I'm glad you like them, Tim, man. I'm really glad you watch it. The sports book in Iowa, that's right next to the Missouri border. They're no longer associated with Caesars, but I think I may drive the extra. I think there's one a little further north, maybe a 3-hour trip instead of driving to Vegas. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I think I might just do all my yearly sports betting in Iowa this year. You've been following it. I'm sure that it's gone before the state legislature here in Missouri. I live in a place called Overland Park, Kansas. I'm like 5 miles from the Missouri border, but Missouri's putting the laws together to do sports betting, so it should be coming soon to Missouri, whether it's in a few months or next year. But if it's not in Missouri this year, I'll probably go to Iowa. But we'll have to wait and see. I may do the trip to Vegas. We'll have to wait and see. I'll let you know, man. I'll probably Tim, if you're watching this, I'll probably call you and let you know I'm going to Vegas. But as general rule of thumb, when I go to Vegas, I don't want to post a lot of stuff because I'm worried somebody may break in and steal. I'll come home to an empty apartment. So, heading to Denver Gate, did you hear Emory Jones is going to transfer? Looks like AR-15 is going to be the man. Oh, dude, that the transfer portal's one thing I don't like. The quarterback for Arizona State, he's leaving. I don't know which school he ended up going to. AR-15, I can't wait. I'm not even a Florida fan, but I actually can't wait to see what he does. It's going to be a great year for college football. Hill has the ring, right? Oh, go chase the bag while you can. It's not like he's QB. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. He has the ring. He's I want to say top 10. It's not top 10, but Wasp is a top 20 Super Bowl play. And 3rd and 15, Tyreek, shotgun. Mahomes does a 9-step drop, throws it 60 yards down the field to Tyreek Hill, and it's one of those plays that's going to be shown over and over again. 50 years from now, we're going to see Wasp, and he's got the ring. Yeah, Chiefs fans want to hate on him, and I'm like, no. Are you turning? I didn't even know he's from Florida. But listen, would you turn down $72 million guaranteed If he manages the money correctly, his great grandkids don't have to worry about a house, car, or college. Great grandkids. So, yeah. Yeah. And the Chiefs got a lot of trade compensation. 8 picks in the first 4 rounds, 2 in the first through the 4th. I mean, if you can't pay the guy, I mean, why not get the compensation? So, I like Damery, not very dynamic, great dude. I think he may try UCF. AR-15 is a stud, but Miller transfer from Ohio State is a great competition. He is someone to watch. I didn't know that. I did not know that because I remember the Miller. That was a big signing by Ohio State. Burrow was an Ohio State transfer too, so he's not bad. I say this every year. I'm going to try to watch more college football. I never do. I'm going to watch as much as I can, though. Amazement, I swear I heard the whole Brady to Miami thing was supposedly before he signed with Tampa. I'm not sure where I heard that, though. I didn't hear it at all, man. I'm glad you guys informed me because I didn't know. But there's no way he goes and plays for a rookie head coach. Zero. That's true, Funky Lions fan. That's why I'm glad we kept Godwin with the contract we gave him. It's also that 2 great wide receivers are unselfish, don't care about numbers, just want to win. I did too. At first it was the Niners because it's child. Now it's Miami. I you know what? I remember hearing the San Francisco thing. So 7 teams control over 25% of the first round. Crazy draft. Some teams are going to build strong. Others are, Yeah, I mean, this is going to be such a great draft. I'm going to do I've toyed around with going live and doing the draft live, but I toyed around doing but I'm not going to. Monday, after the draft's completed, I'm going to do my video. I'm going to do the grades. I'm going to do a bell curve. I'd like to do ideally 1 A+, 1 D-. I don't want to give anybody an F. I might give someone an F. And then from A to D, there should be 10 spots, each one for 3. So, but yeah, I'll give my draft rankings. And I actually, right in front of me, I have last year's rankings on a notepad. I have kind of a weird system how I do it, but I'll do my the Wednesday, the day before the draft. I'm going to do a live stream, and I'm going to give you my final mock. So, yeah, I saw that Denver Gator got new coaches, both football and basketball. Hopefully, gets back on track again. Oh, he went to LSU. Wow. I really liked him. I don't know if he's an NFL quarterback, but God, he was fun to watch. Gator sports culture drastically changed drastically for the best women's coach just signed on too. That's awesome. Pete, what's up, brother, man? Yo, Dan, I thought about you. What you thought on your buddies Tyreek? Well, we just talked about that, man. God, if you joined on late, a short version is that they just couldn't afford to pay him. Great job by his agent. That's what agents are supposed to do. Chiefs got really, 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 really good, compensation in return. So. This, by the way, this is how New England won several Super Bowls over the last 2 decades, is by trades like this. Richard Seymour, they got 2 number 1s for him, and they used that to help win Super Bowls. You didn't win Super Bowls with the Raiders. So, it does suck because I really loved Tyreek Hill. Really loved Tyreek Hill. It was a lot of fun to watch. One of my favorite players. Him and the Honey Badger, and then just earlier today, Dan Sorensen, we called him Dirty Dan. One of my all-time favorite players is signed with the Saints. So it kind of sucks when you're a fan of players to have them leave. But yeah, it happens, man. It happens. Mazeman says, yeah, I agree. Dan Hill would have been Hall of Famer if he stayed with the Chiefs. His numbers will definitely go down. And team look at the division they're in, man. The Jets are going to make a big jump. The Patriots are going to be better. I don't know about Buffalo, but they did sign Von Miller. So, yeah. As a matter of fact, Funk, Brady was at the catch game. He was like 6 years old or whatever, but he was at the catch game. I just thought that was so cool. Yeah. One of the greatest moments in NFL history, and Brady's watching it, and he creates several of his own. Slasher says, need to grab some coffee. I'm back. What do you think about Carolina trading down? I think they have it first, but don't pick again. Okay. Yes. They do not have a second. They do not have a third. So ideally, they should trade down. They need a starter at left tackle, and they don't like Darnold. So at 6, I think it's more likely they're going to put a package together and try to trade up. I think Detroit's the spot. Either Atlanta or Carolina is going to trade up to 2, probably for Pickett. But if I'm Carolina, I get a left tackle and work with Darnold. But it seems like they're gonna go for a quarterback. It'll be interesting to see what Carolina does. Personally, get the left tackle at 6 is what I would do. There's going to be a starting caliber left tackle at 6. That's what I would do. I think they're going to trade up and get a quarterback. So I actually love the second round better than the first because you can find some gems late in the draft and not have to pay them a ton. GMs who know what they're doing can really set their team up. Take a look at Kansas City. Creed Humphrey. Some people thought he was the best center in football. Played at Pro Bowl level. Second round pick Nick Bolton. Surprised me because very first preseason game, he's starting at middle linebacker. And I'm like, what the hell? And he ended up having over 100 tackles. If Micah Parsons didn't have the season he did, then the best rookie linebacker is Nick Bolton, second round pick. Chiefs got 2 studs in the second round. So that was going to be the Jets. What the Jets were going to trade were going to be the 2 seconds and a third, and then some players in 2023. Excuse me. But yeah, I call 33 through 39 the gold picks. If you get one of the gold picks, you're in really, really good. You're in a really good spot to build up your team. So yeah, and so it'll be fun. I sure did, and that's exactly what I believe happened. It shows Tyreek isn't a team player. I'm not happy, but I do like Tyreek Hill. But man, my team. Well, okay. I kind of went over this in some detail earlier in the show, but bottom line, what happened was the Chiefs were trying to work out a long-term deal, and that was the plan. But then Devonta Adams signed for all that money, and his agent went back to the Chiefs and said, "Hey, we want Devonta Adams money." And Chiefs said, "We can't afford it, but is there another team that would pay that?" And this was all orchestrated by his agent due to the Devonta Adams trade. If the Chiefs got this contract done before Devonta Adams' contract, then he would still be in Kansas City. By saying Tyreek isn't a team player, you got to take the money, man. You got to take the money. I didn't know this. Apparently, he's from Miami. I didn't know that until recently. But he posted, "Hey, I'm coming home." So yeah. Do you think all 4 teams in the AF make the playoffs in the AFC West? Possible, but only if no other. It is possible. The AFC West plays the NFC West. The NFC West is probably going to be pretty tough. I say probably. You never know. It is possible, but I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. New England and Buffalo are both going to get into the playoffs. New England's gotten better, and I don't see a way Buffalo just falls apart unless they have like multiple injuries of some way. So I I don't know. I don't think so. To me, I think that the Chiefs and the Raiders get in. I think the Chargers and the Broncos may end up being very disappointed because they both those fan bases are thinking they're going to a Super Bowl. And I think right now it's Chiefs and Raiders, and then Chargers and Broncos are gonna fight for that third spot and wild card. But it could happen. It could happen. By the time after the 4th of July, I'm going to break down all 32 teams just like I do at the draft, and I'll kind of give you an idea of like who will make playoffs, who won't. The AFC West is going to be a lot of fun. So where do you predict Jimmy G and a progressive Hulu quarterback going? Will it change draft status for teams that trade them? It could. The thing is, I thought Jimmy G would be perfect for Pittsburgh. The Matt Canada offense is perfect for what Jimmy G wants to do. They don't want to go downfield. It's short, quick reads. And I really thought that would happen, but then they signed Trubisky. They also re-signed Dwayne Haskins. So, and they've also been going to every single pro day, which is something I don't know if they've done in the past or not, but it's you're seeing it on the NFL Network, you're seeing it on the ESPN. But I was really, really surprised Jimmy G didn't end up in Pittsburgh. That just made a lot of sense. I don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy G. As far as Baker, and that's where Pete also is asking. I don't have an answer. What I think will happen is that there's going to be a team that one of the 32 teams, one of the starting quarterbacks may get banged up. And then that's when you'll see a trade, or that's when you'll see a signing. Carolina could be in play. I mean, with everything that's going on with Darnold, that could be an option. Seattle could also be an option. I really don't have a good answer for you. Baker Mayfield, to tell you the truth, seriously, I don't know the finances, but if there was a Canadian team that could offer him a ton of money, his skill set would be perfect for that Canadian league. I mean, Doug Flutie won like 6 MVPs and like 4 Grey Cups, or 4 MVPs. Came back to the NFL years later, had some good years. I think what will happen is that somebody will get hurt, and then that's where Baker will go. But Jimmy G, I have no clue. He may stay in San Francisco. So some good. We'll be following it. Malik Willis probably first off the board. Then he's going to be the new Cam Newton. From what I've been seeing, and what the odds have been, is that Pickett's going to be number one probably. It seems like Pickett, a lot more people like Pickett more than they like Willis. Pickett's a day one starter. I don't think Willis is. I could be wrong, man. It's funny. We're talking about Baker Mayfield. I was convinced Darnold was going to be the first quarterback chosen in that draft. And then, Cleveland went Baker Mayfield. I didn't see it coming. A lot of other people did. So, what do I know? But I think Pickett's going to go before Willis. Baker. All right. Hey, Pete, man, you have a good one, brother. AFC West may send to AFC North, may have two. AFC. I'm telling you right now, I think the Bills and Patriots are going to send. I think those two are going to go. I mean, it's the AFC and as a whole is just loaded. The AFC as a whole, there's whoever's the 8th team in AFC could be a 10-11 win team. Could be a 10-11 win team. Could be a really dangerous 9-8 team. I mean, if the Chargers got in, I mean, that was a team that, watch out for, It's going to be a great year, man. It's going to be a great year. Pats, really, wow, I don't see the Pats making the playoffs. I actually don't have the Bengals making the playoffs. Let's say Ravens win division, Browns finish second. Bengals did upgrade O-line. Okay, I'm glad you brought on to that. Okay, let me talk about the Bengals first. I've said this over and over and over again. When you have a team that has several years of losing, especially double-digit losing seasons like the Bengals have, and they have that one good season, it always comes back down. It always comes back down. Just recently, the Bears, they had like 6 years of double-digit losses. Matt Nagy takes over. They go 12-4. What happens next year? They go down. Kansas City Chiefs had several years of losing. They went from 2 wins to 11 wins. Andy Reid's first season. Next year, it goes back down to 9. It always happens. San Francisco, losing season, Super Bowl, 6 wins the next year. It always happens. The Bengals will drop. That's a team I'm probably going to bet the under on. Now, the Patriots, on the other hand. I hate to tell you this, man. You got a rookie quarterback who's shown, I mean, as the season went, you could see him getting better and better and better. He went to a Pro Bowl. Is he on the same level as Mahomes or Herbert? No. But he might be at the beginning of the season. That's a guy who's really going to take the step up. And that team's young and just got playmakers all over that defense. I mean, that Patriots front seven is young and talented. That team is loaded. That offensive line is big, is physical. They got a 250-pound running back who can run. He's backing up to a 230-pound running back who can run. The Patriots are loaded. As of today, I'll let you know a secret. I have the Patriots winning that division. The Patriots are going to be very, very, very tough. As far as the Browns, you don't know what you're getting. The last time a trade like Deshaun Watson was Herschel Walker. Minnesota didn't go to the playoffs. So you never know, man. You never know. You never know. How much is Baker making this year? Maybe a bargain, whoever gets him, since he has only 1 year left on his deal. I don't know the number, but it's by NFL quarterback standards, it's off the rookie contract, so it's not that much. It's not that much. No, I really, what I think could happen is that a quarterback could get hurt. And then remember Jay Cutler was going to do TV, and then was it Tannehill at the time? I don't remember who it was, but the quarterback got hurt, so Cutler went there for a year. Colt signed Phil Rivers for a year. It happens. Injuries happen. This could be a situation where something like that happens. A quarterback gets hurt, and you may sign Baker for a year. So you never know. You never know. Did you hear our coach took Pickett out to dinner? No, I did not. But it's smart, because what you want to do is that all the teams should interview their top 10 to 15 players. All right. If somebody's on the board in your top to 10 to 15, regardless of position, you take them out. Take them out to eat. Talk to them. See what you get. You want this to happen, and you're also like, it's part of it's a chess game. Like, even if you're not interested in them, you want teams to think that you're interested. Let's say Pickett slides to 15. All right. Aaron Rodgers, nobody saw that. He was my number one pick. He went all the way to 23. So let's say Pickett he slides, something happens. He's available at 15. You want that. This is why you take him out to dinner. You want people to think, man, we really like this Pickett kid. Then you have some team that calls up and says, hey, what do you want for Pickett? I don't know. We took him out to dinner, man. Great kid, and blah, 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 blah. And Next thing you know, you're instead of 3 first-round picks, you got 5. No. Smart by the Eagles. Smart by the Eagles. Eagles look like they're doing some smart things, man. My mock draft, in case you missed it, Trayvon Walker and Treylon Burks. Slasher, how Carolina was mauling at him at Pro Day, almost looked like they were sold on him and wasn't going to let anywhere near him. I've said this before. It wouldn't surprise me Carolina goes up to 2 to get him. That's I honestly, if I was going to say who's going to have the number 2 pick in the draft and I had to put money on it, I would say it's Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I'm somewhere like between 50 and 55% sure it's going to be Carolina. I think Carolina and Detroit are going to make a deal. So you could be right. I think Bill. Okay. You don't know what's going to happen in Miami. All right. You have no idea. Mike McDonald's never coached in the NFL before. He's never coached in the NFL before. How many times has he been NFL head coach? 0. But he goes against Bill Belichick. He's going against Bill Belichick. Sean McDermott. He's going against Sean McDermott. Those 2 teams are loaded. How many times he coached in the NFL? How many times he had to make game day decisions in an NFL game? 0. That's why. That's why you want to say the Dolphins are better. They're not better. You have no idea. You have no clue. What he may absolutely be a terrible head coach. You don't know. You know what? People were talking about the Chargers being better than the Chiefs. Remember they beat Kansas City, start off 3-0. They didn't make the playoffs. Rookie head coaches in tough divisions don't do as good as you think. Now, Kevin Stefanski, his first year in Cleveland, took over and led I don't know, did they win the division? I know they won a playoff game. No, the game was in Pittsburgh, so they didn't win the division. Took them to the playoffs. It can happen. I'm not saying it can't. But bottom line, you have no clue. You have no clue. Right now, today, right now, I'm leaning towards the Patriots winning that division. But I mean, we got a long ways to go, man. We got a long ways to go. I got about another 4 or 5 months of research. But when it comes to rookie head coaches, you never know. You never know. So the reason teams go up and down like that is all they do is strength of schedule. If your team finishes 4th in your division, you'll play other 4th place teams you're in first. Yeah, that's part of it. That is part of it. That's a big part of it, Funk. Another part is that it's a lot easier to be the underdog than it is the favorite. It's not always easy to be the favorite. You see it more in college and doing the NFL, but at the same time, how many games has Alabama won? Alabama's been favored. God, I don't know. I don't remember the last time Alabama's been done. So I'm not going to look it up, but you get my point. But yeah, I mean, this is why. This is why when the Bengals, even though they've made a lot of moves, if that over-under number is like 12.5, you know I'm running. And I might even do an emergency video, bet your life savings on the under. That's why you remember, I don't know who it was. I'm not making fun of the guy. You remember on Luke G., the guy who's like before the season, oh, Detroit's going to win 10 games. You know why I knew he was full of shit? Because if so, he would have mortgaged his house and bet on Detroit winning more than 4.5 games. But he didn't. You know why? Because he knew he was full of shit. But yeah, I mean, anyway, all right. It's the energy drink and the coffee. I'm starting to get jacked up. I think Robert Woods at Titans was a good move. Too bad they still have Tanny. I don't know about that guy. He did have a good season, though. I love Vrabel. I love Vrabel. If Woods got injured in midseason, if he comes back at 100%, I love Woods opposite A.J. Brown. I love A.J. Brown. The problem is with Tennessee is the team revolves around Derrick Henry. Big running backs like that just hit a wall, and they hit a wall fast. He came back for the playoff game. Kudos to him. He was not the same player. Not the same guy. Not even close. I'm not sure how old you are, Amazement. I think you're a younger guy. Late 90s, 2000s, there was running back for the Tennessee Titans, Houston Oilers and Tennessee Titans by name of Eddie George. Eddie George had a fantastic fifth season, led the Tennessee Titans to the Super Bowl where they played the Rams. He had over 400 touches that season. After that season, he was not even close to the same guy. Wasn't even close. I mean, great running back, borderline Hall of Fame running back, very similar to Derrick Henry. He wasn't quite as big as Derrick Henry, but it's pretty similar. So, but he hit the wall, and I'm wondering if same thing happened to Henry, because if Henry hit that wall, I don't even know if Tennessee's a 500 team, and I think. Nobody's talking about it, but is it unlikely that one of these quarterbacks falls in the draft if Tennessee wants to make a move? Let me ask you this. All right, you're picking, you got 15 Pickett's available at 15. What would you want from Tennessee? What if Tennessee wants to make a move? They got some players. Atlanta, Seattle, or Carolina could all trade up to 2, and man, I would love it. Give me that. Yeah. Right now, I think Atlanta and Carolina are the two main ones, and I think Carolina is just ready to wheel and deal. Yeah, I mean, I think they're ready. I mean, I think that they are willing to move players and picks. Atlanta has more draft capital, obviously, but yeah, I don't see that. Come draft day, I would be very surprised if Detroit ends up making that pick at 2. Dan, what do you think about Jared Davis coming back to Detroit? That was a smart move, man. I have no idea what the linebacking core is going to be. You have to realize between now and the start of the season how many linebackers it's going to add, but I really do like it. I always thought that I remember coming out of Florida, I really liked this guy, and for whatever reason it didn't seem to work out, but yeah, I like it. Detroit's made some really, really smart moves. DJ Chark was a really smart move. This is a really good one. And then if they trade down in the draft, I like I said, I think 2 and 6 are going to be flipped when everything comes to it. But we'll have to wait and see. But seriously, what might happen is after the draft and after free agency, come preseason, you may cut the guy. You never know. That's true from a coaching standpoint. Dolphins are at disadvantage. Hey, listen, you never know. I mean, things may just click. They signed Teron Armstead. All right. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. Anyway, they signed Teron Armstead, the universally considered the best left tackle in free agency. The number one free agent player was Teron Armstead. They signed a left tackle. What happens if he's out the whole season? He only played 6 games last year, so let's say he's out. All right. So, but what if he's a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle? What if Tyreek Hill's a great receiver? What if Jalen Waddle steps up his game? What if Gesicki plays like a Pro Bowl? I forgot your running back's name. But what if everything clicks? I mean, seriously, Miami's a weird thing because they could be a 12-win team. They could be a 6-win team. I could easily see Miami losing every game in the division. The Jets got better. Dan, I laughed at so many people last year because of the 10 wins thing. So opium's a real thing. Yeah, I said it. I kept it real, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. Detroit's going to be a fun team this year, man. If they trade down and they maneuver the picks right and they have the impact, if the players impact this year's draft like last year's players did in the draft, the Lions could be a good team, man. They could be a good team. They really could. So, Rock Howard. All right, man. I don't know if you've been here before or not, too, man. But hey, man, we talk a lot of Lions here, man. So I'm happy to hear from you. If you're new, this is your first time, man, hit the subscribe button. If you've been here before and I just don't recognize you, man, I apologize. But Rock says the only question: are Lions taking Malik, or are we trading back because the team is moving up for him? I personally think that Carolina loves Pickett, and I don't do trades in my mock draft, but I think when draft day comes, I think Carolina's going to take Pickett at 2. And I think Detroit at 6 could get very creative. And I think at 6, Detroit could maybe trade down a second time. Or I think they could end up taking an edge rusher, or they could take Hutchinson. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think the Lions are going to take a quarterback at 2. I don't see it. I think the Lions, if I had to bet on it, I'd say the Lions would trade down. They have 2 picks in the first round next year, and next year there's going to be some really good quarterbacks. I think this year there's Willis and Pickett are first round picks. I'm not sold on Willis at all. If you look at his best throws and you look at his best tape, yeah, I get why people think he's a top 10 quarterback. I get it. I don't see it. And with Pickett, the hand size bothers me. It really does. I mean, it's funny. Ryan Leaf, by the way, if you don't, can't believe I'm advertising Ryan Leaf. Follow Ryan Leaf on Twitter, man. Just great. Just his story's phenomenal. Anyway, he talks about, he goes, I have giant hands. His hand size, he was like one of the biggest hands in the draft. He wasn't a good quarterback. So he's like hand sizes and everything. It bothers me, man. It really bothers me. But I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Pitt last year. I was really wanting to see them at a bowl. I really wanted to see him play at the bowl game, and he didn't. And then Ole Miss quarterback. I was all excited. I finally get to watch him play, and then he goes out early in the first quarter. So, polished my energy drink off. Funk says, I love Davis coming out. His rookie year, he looked great. Second year, Patricia showed up, and his game went south quickly. Is that what happened? Was you know what? If I remember correctly, and I might be wrong about this, under Caldwell, they wanted to run like a Tampa 2 defense, and he was going to play middle linebacker. And middle linebacker in that Tampa 2 defense, you're basically a big safety, because what your first reaction is to just backpedal on passing plays, and you cover like a zone. And it's built on speed. Now Davis is a big dude, but he was really fast. And I think under Caldwell's defense, he flourished. Then Patricia showed up, and instead of it being a very simple, Patricia wanted to run a complex defense. And I think it just had him overthinking a little too much. But yeah, I'm not really sure how he would mesh in this defense, but I really loved him coming out. I really did. So I think this is a good move. I like Jared coming out too. Great. Yeah. You never know between now and the start of the season. You got, he may get cut. He may be a starter. You don't know yet, but I love it. I love it. The Lions have done some really good small, I say small, not big name splashes, like Tyreek Hill to Miami, but the players that they've signed are players that they needed. The front seven of the Lions was slow. Jared Davis adds speed and athleticism. It's a good move. All right. The wide receivers, not only don't they have anybody who's really any good. Amon-Ra St. Brown's, I still think a solid number 2. But what they really needed was a deep play guy. Get a speedster. DJ Chark, perfect player. Perfect player. And boom, you add speed. All right. This makes your other wide receivers better. So some really good, not big name signings, but Detroit's doing a lot of really. I'm telling you right now, part of it's because the Lions fan base is just awesome, and we talk a lot of Lions here, but I really like the way they're building this team, and I think they're going to trade down, and I think that when they trade down, they're going to get some really good players. If you're a Lions fan, you may not make the playoffs this year, but you're not going to be one of the worst teams in football. So, I mean, the future is really, really looking bright. So, all I know is Miami's going to have the newest version of the West Coast, all that speed, no arm to get deep. It's going to be a 1 or 2. Yeah, I kind of see the same thing. And I'm wondering, I mean, here's the thing is that they're going to run the San Francisco offense, okay? It's not really a vertical offense. It's a heavy run offense. So, like, are you going to do it? The Chiefs got creative, and they used Tyreek Hill in the running game. And if I was taking over, I would use Waddle in the running game. I know they signed a running back too. I think it's Moser, but I think they signed maybe one or no, they signed Duke Johnson, but you need running backs. Now, in the San Francisco scheme, you just find running backs in the late rounds, and it wouldn't surprise me if Miami used one of their late round picks on a running back and he ends up having a decent season. But the thing that made Tyreek Hill so dangerous was that the threat of going downfield. I don't know if you really have that. I don't know if you really have that. If I'm playing against Waddle and Hill, I'm not really afraid to bump and run with these guys. Miami's going to be really interesting because, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get. I wonder, and then Tua is Tua really the answer? You can't draft a quarterback, that's for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, I mean, let's say you're not sold on Tua. Let's say you get to training camp. I'll never forget. I was in Chicago when they signed. For you younger guys, probably don't know who this is, but Chicago signed free agent quarterback Cordell Stewart, and right after the very first mini camp, they were on the phone. They're like, can we get another quarterback? They knew, like, they signed him. The first training camp, they were like, this guy can't play. And I'm wondering if the same thing's going to happen in Miami. If they call Baker Mayfield, they try to get Cam Newton. Maybe they try to trade for the guy in the Saints, not Winston, the other guy, the do-it-all type of player. You never know. I'll never forget. I was in Chicago and I was listening to sports radio, and the guy's like, Cordell Stewart can't play. And I thought it was a joke at first, and then like next thing you know, you see on ESPN, Chicago trying for a quarterback after. Yeah. It was just, you never know. The Lions at 6 could literally take any position. The way they did this offseason stuff actually feels deliberate and with no panic. Yeah. The Lions are doing some really, 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 really smart signings. I like the fact that they didn't go out and take sign like 15 players. They're signing at positions they need. They need speed on the outside. That was one thing you needed. You get a speed guy, and you got him cheap. I don't know. They didn't give Davis a ton of money. At least I don't think they did. Add speed and athleticism. You need that. And seriously, at 6, you could draft any position, except offensive line. And be in great shape. I know I'm excited for the draft. I mean, my Chiefs pick, like every other pick. We've talked about that. Yeah. I understood what he was trying to do, and it just didn't work, which is a damn shame. Damn shame. He's gone back to New England, and I think he'll do well with the Patriots. But yeah, he'll probably never be a head coach again. It wouldn't surprise me if he's the defensive coordinator down the line for another team, but probably never be a head coach again. Yeah, Caldwell kept the wide nines from Schwartz. Only did Patricia use him as the cover linebacker. He also had him put on weight and it slowed him up. He looks lean again. That's awesome. That's what you need. You need speed and athleticism off your front seven. That was one thing that stood out when I watched Detroit, was how slow your front seven was. There was no speed and athleticism there. So does Green Bay finally take a step back? I've been keeping the dumpster nice and warm. Can't wait for them to collapse and be shit for a decade. I'll say this, like right now today, they got to be my favorite to win the North. I mean, Rodgers, two-time, back-to-back MVP candidate. They got some good running backs. The offensive line, when healthy, is solid. The defense did a really good job, considering that they were down to like their fifth or sixth candidate to be defensive coordinator. I don't know if you remember before, when the season started, they really wanted Jim Leonard, who decided to stay at Wisconsin. They kept on interviewing people. Nobody wanted that job. And then finally, I can't think of the guy's name, but he did a pretty good job. So it'll be interesting, because I really thought that it was going to be a disaster. I was really expecting Green Bay to take a step back the last couple of years, and then they didn't. I mean, they signed the Raiders special teams coach, who ended up taking over as the head coach. A very, very well thought of special teams coach. He will improve the special teams, and it'll be interesting because, I mean, the Rams are definitely taking a step back. I'm not sure if Tampa Bay is going to take a step back or if they're the favorite, but not this year, but soon. Rock says Tua can't. He needs to stay healthy. If not, I mean, seriously, he may get injured in preseason, and maybe the Baker Mayfield show. You never know, man. Rock, the scheme was fine to me. The problem was Patricia and Quinn were not on the same page. The thing that told me was when he signed Collins. The reason why Collins left New England originally was Patricia. It was the scheme. And then I remember Luke G got me on board with Isaiah Simmons going third to Detroit, and I finally got on board, right? So I'm on board, and it made sense. All right, Simmons was going to be that Swiss Army knife type of player in a complex scheme. It made sense. Then they won Okuda, and I'm like, no, that's no way it's going to work. And I remember somebody arguing with me like, oh, well, the Ohio State defense is the same thing as what Patricia's running. I'm like, they don't even – that defense doesn't even exist in college. And I had to get hard with this guy. I kept on going back and forth. And I said, bet on it. If you really think the Lions are going to the playoffs, show me your bet slip. I never heard from the motherfucker again. Never heard on him again. Never heard from that dude again. And I didn't want to go there. I really didn't want to go there because I love talking Lions and everything. But the guy, I'm telling you, I was like, listen, that man defense, that complex Patriot scheme defense, it doesn't exist on the college level. I'm interested to see what Okuda does this year. Is he a Pro Bowler? Is he a guy that needs to go to another team? I don't know. I watched that game live. I used to be a big Colorado Buffaloes fan, and when they turned their franchise around, I really loved it. It was a great story. I don't want to go in detail, but yeah, I remember. So it's actually funny if you go back and listen to the live. I don't know if you can listen to the audio, but the announcers were like, next up after the game is blah, 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 or whatever. They wrote it off because they were on the 20, and, they were like, well, it was like 20 or 30 or something. They're like, there's no way, Cordell. And Cordell threw it to Michael Westbrook. Ty Law was back there, and I remember just being floored. It was a great game. If I remember right, both teams are in the top 10. I may have been 2 versus 4. Michigan had a really good team. And if I remember correctly, I think I'm right. Rashaan Salam, the Buffalo's running back, he won Heisman that year. Won the Heisman. Really, really good college running back. It's actually funny. I wrote a paper that year. Steve McNair should win the Heisman Trophy. I think he finished second. I could be wrong on that. I think he finished second or third, but I thought that instead. But at that time, if you ran for 2,000 yards, you were guaranteed a Heisman. And Salam didn't have a good pro career, unfortunately. What are your thoughts on Justin Fields? Did you see enough to believe he's the guy for Chicago? No, I didn't see enough. And I do like Fields' potential. I thought that if he went to the right scheme, and Chicago wasn't the right scheme, I thought if he went to the right scheme, he could have been a rookie starter and played well. I actually thought that he would go to the Jets at 2. And I thought it would work because the Jets offense are going to run San Francisco offense. They got the 49ers coordinator. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's the brother of the Green Bay Packers head coach. And I thought that would work because the offense would be very simple. It would be a lot of bootlegs. It would be a lot of 1-2, throw the ball. Matt Nagy wanted to run the Chiefs offense that Andy Reid has. It's the most complex offense in the NFL. And the plan was to draft Fields and have him sit and learn. Then Dalton couldn't stay healthy. The press was on board. I think, excuse me, I got the hiccups here. Energy drink and coffee is not agreeing with me. I think management kind of got involved, and it was a recipe for disaster. Justin Fields was a guy that you either had to have a very basic, simple offense for, or he should sit for a whole year. Chicago wasn't any of those. So you get a new head coach in Chicago, but he's a defensive-minded coach. I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is, but they were public saying that they're going to build a team around Justin Fields. Okay, great. Well, you don't have a first-round pick, so what are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? You lost Allen Robinson. I mean, it's a bad situation because you're bringing in a first-time guy. He's never been head coach before. He's a former defensive coordinator, a good defensive coordinator. The Bears are going to switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3. They've made some changes already in that defense. The defense, I think, will be good. I mean, maybe even take a step back, but this defense still going to be good. But I mean, what are you doing offensively? I mean, you had all sorts of holes. All right, you got your best player is David Montgomery, guy I absolutely loved. Okay, great. You have some decent tight ends. I mean, the answer is, did I see enough? The answer is no. Can he be an NFL starter? Sure, but you got to treat him like a rookie. I mean, you don't throw out the whole playbook. You basically. Here's how I would approach Justin Fields. Get 25 plays that he is extremely comfortable in working. All right. Start off 25 plays. That's it. We're going to give you 25 plays. And then you build off of that. You try to go from 25 to 30. Right. And I mean, by the way, this is like for an NFL offense, you probably want to have like 200 to 300 plays, but Actually, that's probably more than that. But anyway, you want to do the bare bones with Justin Fields. Give me 20, 25 plays that you can learn and then build on that. I wouldn't even have him audible. I don't, if there could be 15 guys in the box, and if it's a running play, run the damn play. Do not audible. I would not even let him audible, right? And you build them that way. And you got a first-time head coach. Is he capable of doing that? And again, I don't know who the offensive coordinator is. And you got a lot of holes on that team. I'm going to do a video who Chicago's going to draft in the second round. Actually, I already have a player in board, but I'm going to wait until all the 32 videos are done. Then I'll do one on Chicago. Do you think the Lions got enough for Matt Stafford in the trade? I don't think they did, and I knew the Rams would win the Super Bowl making the pick 32, and I think the Rams will be back in the Super Bowl. Okay, it's actually funny. He's not here today, but normally he's one of the regulars, One Pride 40. Me and him went back and forth because I thought that the most the Lions would be a second or a third. Because you knew that Stafford wanted out of Detroit, so you wouldn't be able to get a lot. And he's like, no, we're going to get at least 2 ones. I'm like, you're crazy. And I was wrong. He was right. And he loves bringing that up. He's not here today, but normally he's in the chat, and he loves bringing that up. And he should. He was right. I was wrong. What the Lions do with the 32nd pick and the first-round pick in 2023 will determine whether the trade works out. Let me give you another example. The Chiefs traded 2 first-round picks for Frank Clark. Did they overpay and draft capital? Absolutely. Then they gave him a lot of money. They just reworked the contract a few weeks ago. They give him too much money. The answer is yes. But the Seahawks messed up all the draft picks. They ended up using both those number ones they traded down, and they ended up taking 3 defensive ends. One of them ended up being a 3rd-round pick that they used on Clowney for a 1-year rental, and then they couldn't re-sign it. They ended up wasting all those draft picks. Did the Chiefs win that trade? The answer is no, but Frank Clark went to Kansas City and won a Super Bowl that year. So who won the trade? I'll argue Seattle won the trade, but the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Seattle they messed up all the draft picks. One of them's LJ Collier. And if you're wondering who the hell's that, well, he's one of the picks that they used on the Frank Clark trade. I think he has something like 25 tackles and 1 sack in his career. So, but as far as the Rams making it back to the Super Bowl, I mean, God, I don't know. I mean, you're losing your left tackle. That's big. All right. I know he's 174 years old, but he played at a very high level. All right. Aaron Donald was talking about retirement. I mean, after 8 or 9 years of being the best defensive lineman in football, he's going to start the season as 31. I mean, it's safe to say he's on the way down. Von Miller's not coming back, and you're not going to be able to trade for a player like Von Miller. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can. I mean, but look what they did. They picked up Odell Beckham. They picked up Von Miller. Honestly, they also got kind of lucky that Tampa Bay scored way too fast and allowed them, 47 seconds to kick a field goal. Maybe if if Leonard Fournette, instead of running into the end zone, takes a knee at the 1 and they go into overtime, lose that coin flip, Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a lot harder to get back to the Super Bowl. But did the Lions get enough? We have to wait and see. I thought the Lions got too much, to be honest with you. I didn't think they would get near that much. And I was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't think they'd get near that much. Do the Lions make a good pick at 32? I mean, let me throw this out at you. The Vikings used the 32nd pick on Teddy Bridgewater. Didn't work out. The Ravens used pick number 32 on Lamar Jackson. It did pan those are only 32 picks those are only the only 32 players chosen in the draft I can think of off the top of my head. There's probably been some other really, really good ones. Do the Lions trade up or down from pick number 32? Because I could see the Lions at 32 putting an auction sign up saying, because they pick at 34. So I could see the Lions trading down from 32. Maybe they trade down with the Jets and get 36 and 39. I don't know. It depends on what you do with the picks. Seattle won the Frank Clark trade, but they did nothing with the picks. So, but as far as the Rams being back in the Super Bowl, between now and the start of the season, we'll break it down. But I'll do. I'm going to break down all 32 teams. I don't know if you saw my buddy Tim, but I do this every year. After the 4th of July, I'm going to start breaking down all the teams, and I'll start off with Jacksonville, and I'll end up with the Rams. And what I do is, here's what I did last year. I did 3 things I like, I did 3 things I don't like, and then the Vegas over/under. And I'll probably keep that format because I kind of like 3 good, 3 bad, and kind of do both things. So. Stevie Keys, I am super late. Can someone tell me if Dan did celebratory blow in regards to Tyreek Hill trade or if it was depression coping blow? The answer is energy drinks are not code for cocaine. It's C4 energy. It is not cocaine, despite a popular opinion. We did talk about Tyreek Hill, and I am very upset about it. Dan Sorensen, who's now a Saint, Tyreek Matthew and Tyreek Hill, 3 of my favorite Chiefs players are gone. And between now and the start of the season, I'm going to try to amp myself up that it's not an end to an era. Now, the New England Patriots were able to do this, but the New England Patriots are different than most franchises. Personally, I feel like it's the end of an era. At that said, I still think Kansas City is the team to beat in the AFC. They're definitely the team to beat in the AFC West. But it does feel like an end of an era. There was one Chiefs fan. I thought about posting it like dumb things that fans say. But some guy tried to tell me that Justin Reed was an improvement over the Honey Badger. And it's like, come on now. He said, well, the Honey Badger was always hurt and didn't want to tackle. I'm like, do you watch football? But I decided not to do that. And so Stevie says he didn't say energy drink. Rock, in case you're wondering, I'm not on drugs, but yeah. Rock says we are taking Christian Watson at 32 to go with Malik Willis at 2. I'm going to hold you to that. I am going to hold you to that, man. This is a good one. I know that there are some Lions fans who will really not like this. I wonder if Funk's still here. Address that D next year. You start off with Jared Davis, and I at number 2 right now, I still got Aiden Hutchinson. And if I'm the Lions, I love Hutchinson. So read between the lines, folks. For me, it's just hard because everything else going on with my life, I was just getting over Betty White. Stevie, man, I have missed you, brother. And Betty White was awesome. I'm old enough to remember Betty White on the Mary Tyler Moore show. She was a different type of character. So, yeah. Oof, I don't know. AFC is loaded. I'll take a few teams over the Chiefs. Hey, look, you can say what you want, but there's not a better coach-quarterback combination than Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Now, is Belichick a better coach than Andy Reid? Sure, I'll give you that. But Mahomes is a much better quarterback than number 10 there, Mac Jones. Yeah, I'll take Mahomes over Jones. So, yeah. You still have the best coach-quarterback combination. For my money, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in AFC. Andy Reid is the second best coach in AFC. And you still got 3 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line, a future Hall of Famer in Travis Kelce, and you also have some studs on defense. You did lose a lot of players, but you have 8 draft picks in the first 4 rounds. So trust me, nobody wants to play Kansas City in the playoffs. So I like it, Rock. I think the competition destroys complacency. Hard to be bored 17 games now. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an awesome schedule. I mean, the Chiefs play, 6 really good games in the AFC West. All of them should be primetime games. And then you also play the NFC West. I don't have the Chiefs schedule in front of me. More than likely, I haven't figured it out because I'm working on my draft videos. But if I'm going the wrong way on my calendar. Okay. The 4th of July is on a Monday, but sometime after the 4th of July, I'm going to start breaking down all 32 teams, and I'm going to do videos just like I'm doing with the draft. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But also, if you haven't looked, by the way, you can go to my website, www.thedanshow.net. I have all my mock picks here and also have little comments on what the teams could do. And I'm going to do some more work on the website. Monday, I'm going to release what the Chargers are going to do. I have my mock draft already planned out. There's a few teams that I'm kind of going back and forth on a couple different picks. And honestly, I have no trades in my mock draft, but I have no idea what Kansas City is going to do at 29. I have some players on board, but I'm not 100% sure. Then you think with Tyreek gone, teams planning to drop 7 or 8 and stop the pass are now has now gone to crap. Likewise, you think the Dolphins are going to fight harder on O than they think. Okay, well, our team's going to stop and drop. That's going to kind of be an interesting thing because a lot of teams started doing that. But here's the thing, though, is that I can't speak for MVS. But Juju Smith's a guy that can do stuff, run after the catch. Hardman started to play better towards the end of the year. There could be a team or two, there could be a draft pick or two that's a wide receiver in this draft that might be a weapon. I personally would like to see the Chiefs run the ball a little more. So it'll be very interesting. I think teams will start off playing that shell coverage, and then as the season goes on, they'll just kind of experiment a little bit. But I think teams will start off the year. I don't know who the Chiefs play week 1, but I expect whoever they play week 1 to do that shell coverage and then kind of go from there. The Dolphins, you don't know what you're getting with a rookie head coach, but I don't know if you're around, but I was in Chicago when the Bears signed Cordell Stewart, and at the very first mini camp, there was like a panic session. Like they knew immediately he was not an NFL quarterback. And I'm wondering if they know that they got their guy in Tua. I mean, listen, I watched Tua at Alabama. He was going to win a Heisman, and then he got injured. But he was looking really good. If he's the guy in Miami, and they can use Waddle and Hill appropriately, and the offensive line's fixed, personally, I think that the offense may be. I think there'll be some transition. There's a lot of question marks with Miami. Tron Armstead, they gave him a lot of money. He only played 6 games last year. They have a whole new offense. So now by NFL standards, it's pretty simple, but they're going against some tough defenses in that division. Robert Saleh is very familiar with that offense. Don't be surprised if the Jets, end up holding Miami down. You never know. But if you're a Dolphins fan and you're just 12 wins, check. I think you're gonna be very disappointed. Teams dropping 2 safeties like they did with the Chiefs and taking the short stuff and exposing to it. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about the Chiefs. You're talking about, no, I don't think teams are going to play Miami like that at all. I don't. I think the Patriots, a matter of fact, I think the Patriots will have I think teams will have no problems playing bump and run with Tyreek and Jalen. I think that I think there's a difference between Patrick Mahomes and Tua. I don't think you'll see that against Miami at all. I don't think you'll see it at all. I think you'll see teams challenge Tua and say, Tua beat us. You don't want to do that with Mahomes. Who would you like to see on Hard Knocks? I would love to see my Lions on there with Motor City Dan Campbell. I would love to see Lions. I think that'd be great. I wouldn't mind seeing the Chiefs, but I don't think a team's been announced yet. But I know when the Chiefs did Hard Knocks, I think it was 2006. They had a terrible season, so I don't know, but I'll be honest. The Lions have never been on, to the best of my knowledge. I'm pretty sure I've seen them all, and I don't think the Lions have ever been on. I would love to see the Lions. I wouldn't mind seeing Miami again with everything that's been going on. I'm not a 49ers fan, but that would be kind of an interesting team. I don't think Green Bay's ever been on, but I mean, there's several teams I wouldn't mind. But yeah, Detroit. I think Detroit would be a fun one. So, you really think the Chiefs will be drafting at 29 and or 30? I could see a trade up and a trade back. I think the Chiefs will trade up somewhere in the draft. They have 2 picks in each of the first 4 rounds. They're not picking 8 players. I could see them. I wouldn't be surprised if they package 29 and 30 and trade up. And I was kind of looking through the draft, and I think the prime candidate, the one I would circle as where the Chiefs go, is pick number 14, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have always liked trading back down. And I think that 29 and 30, let me bring up the chart here, because it's 29 and 30 if we're using the Draft Tech chart. 29 640 and 30 is 620, which is a grand total of 1260. Well, pick number 4 is 1100, right? So what you would have to trade would be actually an exact trade would be a 94, which would be the Chiefs' first 3rd round pick, which is 124. You pick those 3 together, it's a 1384. I'm sorry, the Baltimore pick's 1100. All right, so Baltimore would have to give something back. Baltimore picks 76, which is 210. So 100 plus 210, that's a 13. Well, I'm sorry, that would be too much. Doesn't Baltimore pick again in the 3rd round? Anyway, the Chiefs might have to overpay to get up to 14. But that Baltimore's a team I think that would really love to trade down. And Kansas City, I think, wants to trade up. It wouldn't surprise me if that type of deal would go on. So watch when Minnesota, because they're switching defenses, I could see them also being interested in trading down, but they've acquired a lot of players through free agency to switch up that defense. So I don't know if they're going to trade all the way down to 29, but I was thinking Minnesota, but watch what they've done in free agency. I think they got things set up. Baltimore at 14 and 14, 29 and 30, 14, 4, 29 and 30. Baltimore would have to kick something back probably. And I could see that. It wouldn't surprise me if Kansas City trades up from 29 and trades up for 30. Let's say you want 14 from Baltimore. You may have to give up 29, 50, and maybe next year's 3rd round pick or 2nd. And then maybe a trade up from 30 to 21 where New England picks. You never know. You never know. Do I think the Chiefs will pick at 29 and 30? The answer is no. But when I do my mock draft, there are no trades. So I got a player circled at 30 that is a dark horse candidate. No mock draft I've seen has picked this player. And I'm going to stick with that pick at 30. 29 is the tough one because I don't know what the Chiefs would do at 29. I'm still kind of debating. I'm throwing a few different things together. So I remember that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah. My huddle bro Gooch is a huge Bama fan, and he says he doesn't believe Tua will make it. The problem is that I think that in the right they mismanaged Tua completely. All right. He needed to sit for the whole year. They had him start week 6. I don't think they did it right. A lot of people think that Flores shouldn't have been fired. I was one of them, but I understand why. He mismanaged Tua completely. I thought there was too much pressure on him. Flores didn't have the offense built for him. Campbell, as a first-time head coach, as an offensive mind, has a lot of free agents. Okay, you got free agent left tackle, you have free agent running back, you have free agent wide receiver, right? You got to make it work. When Tyreek Hill was coming out of college, he was a former running back who had 1 year of wide receiver experience, and the Chiefs they took baby steps with him. They didn't have him run a full route tree. They had him return punts. He was the kick returner. He went deep. He did some stops. They didn't throw out. They didn't do everything. Does Miami have the same offensive mind that Andy Reid does? Andy Reid's one of the top offensive minds in the history of the NFL. Jalen Waddle had some good numbers, but I think he averaged 10 yards a catch, and this is a guy who's a 4-3 guy. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I know Tyreek Hill last year. Now that was planned because the year before he was going deep. They stopped that, so they did that shell coverage thing. I don't think teams are going to approach Miami and say, "Hey, we're gonna just put 2 safeties in a parking lot." I think they challenge Tua. So, but your buddy who's a big Bama fan doesn't think Tua will make it. He may not. He may not be the answer. And the worst part is that you can't draft a quarterback this year. You got to wait till next year. And you already have some picks going to Kansas City in next year's draft. So what do you do? So, yeah, he is under a lot of pressure. It would not surprise me if after this season the Dolphins fire Mike McDonald and try to get another offensive guy to try to come in, or if they go a defensive guy. I'm telling you this right now, in 2023, Black Monday comes around. The name you'll be hearing quite often is Mike Zimmer. He'll be a guy, and there'll be some offensive coordinator, maybe Eric Bieniemy. So I agree, Dan. I believe I saw now that the Dolphins have Tyreek. They have 3 of the top 6 receivers in yards of separation by wide receivers in the first 2 seconds of a play. Guy use them right. I'm back. My kid brother needed something. Hey, man, I'm glad you're here, Funk. Man, how good do you think the Lions O-line is? Are they a top 5 unit? I really like Sewell and Frank Ragnow coming back from injury. How much of a jump is Sewell going to make? Is Sewell? I'll be honest. I was a very small minority. I thought Sewell's best position was guard, not tackle. I thought he could have been like an all-universe guard. You Lions fans out tell me, how good of a right tackle is he? Because when I look at him, the Chiefs have they drafted Trey Smith in the 6th round. He was an all-pro, he was a Pro Bowler as a rookie. He's got a very similar body style to a Sewell, very similar type player, and he was a stud at guard. I always wondered if Sewell was a better fit at guard, but you Lions fans tell me, did he look like he was getting better as the season was going on? He's only 20 or 21, so his best days are in front of him. Does he come into training camp overweight? Does he look awesome? There's a lot of questions. Ragnow's a stud when healthy. Could the Lions be a top 5 offensive line? Maybe. A lot of it has to do with Sewell. Like I said, I'm in a small minority. I thought he could have been a stud on the inside. Does he have Pro Bowl, all pro potential on the outside? That's the question. So I really like Flores too. I can't believe 31 other teams let him go to the Steelers as a position coach. Well, this has happened where head coaches take a position coach job for a year or two. Of course, the lawsuit that Flores had isn't going to help any, but yeah, a lot of times you lose your job. As a matter of fact, Matt Patricia, we were talking about Matt Patricia earlier. He's like a quality assistant. Now they do things a little different, the Patriots organization, but he's not even a position coach. He's not even a coordinator. He's just they call him like quality control, but they do things a little different in New England. But this is actually pretty common. This is pretty common. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, but the coach before Mike Vrabel in Tennessee, when he was fired by Tennessee, he was an offensive line coach, and that happens. It's kind of standard. But I thought it was a good hire for the Steelers. So, well, you think the Dolphins are only going to give Mike 1 year? If they're a 5-win team, then yes, I could see Miami doing that. Miami's a weird team when it comes to coaches. But if the Miami Dolphins are 5-12, yeah, he'll be gone. Jared is back. Yeah, One Pride, we were talking about you. Remember how I said Stafford was going to get 2 number ones, and you said he was the third? So that's what we were talking about. Sewell is a baller at right tackle. And okay, well, this is why I created the show, so I can get inside information from you Lions fan. But yeah, he could be a top 5. So definitely, that's good to hear. Because if he's an all-pro right tackle, then yeah, you could have top 5 offensive line. Prediction on where Tyrann Mathieu signs, how many years you think he'll get? Man, it's a tough one. I'm hoping it's not somewhere like the Patriots. I'm praying it's somewhere that's not the Patriots. I'm a big fan of Tyrann Mathieu, and I think that the reason he hasn't been signed is because multiple teams are interested. And he may take a 1-year deal. He may take a 3-year deal. I'm not sure. I couldn't speculate on where he'll sign. But I will say this: whoever signs him is getting an A+ player on and off the field. Love the Honey Badger. Does any team sign Baker Mayfield? Seems there's plenty of teams that need a quarterback. I personally don't like him, but I mean, if Trubisky can get signed, I begin to think that it may just be that you have to wait till the season starts and see if somebody's injured. I would kind of circle. If you had to give me a team, I would say watch out for Seattle. I think they should go with Drew Lock, but you're since you're new to the show, I went to the same high school as Drew Lock, so I have a higher opinion on Drew Lock than most people. I think that Seattle could do really good things with Drew Lock. But I would kind of circle Seattle. You just have to wait and see what happens. There could easily be an injury. I saw a lot of people thinking he'd go to Pittsburgh. I don't see it though. Yeah, Munchak. Yes. Old O-line. Yeah, he went back to coaching O-line. Did a fantastic job too. Yes, Dan Sewell should stay at right tackle for the next few years at least. Decker is well above average at left tackle. Jackson was a Pro Bowl left guard. Ragnew, an absolute beast at center. And Big V is actually good at right guard. You could absolutely see this being a top 5 unit. But, the key is, does Ragnew come back? Does Sewell make that next step? So I cannot see Belichick putting up with Matthews' social. You know what? Belichick really doesn't give a shit about that. He really doesn't. He does not care what you do on social media and all that stuff. That he does not care. That would not be an issue. You talking crap? I said he was definitely. No, I actually gave you credit. I said you were right. I was wrong. The Falcons O-line is the best position group on the team. At least it's complete. They even have a stellar backup guy inside offensive line. Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't know if they're a top 5 unit, but yeah, if you had to say give me the strength of the Detroit Lions, I say offensive line easy. Nobody talked about this. Nobody cares. No, I'm joking. We did talk about this. I think everybody likes this. Everybody likes this pick. This was a really good move. I have to get the Lions some credit. I really like the Chark and I really like Davis. I think it's a good move. I think it's a real good move. Your front 7 athleticism was a major weakness. This really helps out quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I thought it was a real good signing. I made a comment earlier. Yeah, so here's how this started. He says he made a comment earlier that they didn't get enough in the trade. I knew the Rams would win the Super Bowl. We'll probably end up with 32 and probably 31 for Stafford. Not great for an elite quarterback. So what happened is, this is what Rock said. One Pride thought that he would get 2, and I said a 3rd. And One Pride definitely was right. Definitely in the top 10. That's fair. Going into the season, I could see them being the top 10. I'd like to see Stoll take the step up. Step up. Pride, yes, I never wanted him to leave before Patricia. He played well. Then Patricia asked him to be the cover linebacker, and he went downhill side to when he was a downhill side to side guy. And I think that's what yeah, honestly, that's a fair comparison. I remember when he came out of Florida, I loved his speed, and he was a big dude. He was about the same size as Parsons, not that fast, but he was, I think at the combine, he ran like a 4.5 something. I mean, he was really fast. And I thought in that Tampa 2 type of defense that Caldwell ran, he really played well. It's a very simple defense. So I'm not really sure what they're running in Detroit now with Glenn, but if Glenn keeps it simple, this could be a major signing for you guys. So, guys, it's been a little over 2 hours. I am I am out of coffee, and I am done with my energy drink. And man, what a great show! Before you get out of here, man, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like the video. Share this with your friends. I've gotten some new subscribers. I'm at 729. I'm hoping to get over 750 before the season starts. Don't forget, you can check out my website, www.thedanshow.net. And I got all my draft picks, 1 through 16. I'm going to play around, kind of make the format a little better. Put some more possible outcomes of the draft, because if in my mock draft, I do no trades. Monday, I'm going to have the Chargers. Then I'm going to have the Saints. I'm going to be back at Philly. 20 is Pittsburgh, and then 21 is the Patriots. I already know who they're all. I already got all 5 picks lined up. I just got to do the videos. I usually do them one day in advance. I did Philly this morning, and I released it a little late, but I'll have those five picks videos ready to go, and so we'll have 17 through 21 to talk about next week. Plus, it looks like we'll probably have some more free agent and trade talks to go. Parsons, I don't think so. I really don't think so, because Parsons is about 240. I thought Davis was 240. I think it was the same size. Discount code, yes. Yeah, more like he was used as a rookie. So it's a good time here, Rock, man. I'm really glad you joined, man. Lions fans are always welcome here. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm a Chiefs fan. Lions fans are much better than Chiefs fans. It's not even close. It's not even close. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Chiefs Kingdom's great and everything, but you Lions fans are easily better than Chiefs fans. It's you guys deserve a better product than what you had last year. And I said this last year at the beginning of the season. You're building the foundation. It's just, I wouldn't count you guys going to the playoffs, but you should win a lot more than 3.5 wins this year. So, and one other thing is Funk's now a big Chiefs fan. So there's always room on the Chiefs fan bus. So I'm going to end on that note. Hey, guys, don't forget, give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment below. Don't forget, you can always check out my website. If you are not a fan of social media, you can always email me directly. I get my phone's being charged, but I get the notification on my phone. You can always shoot me an email, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And, hey, man, everybody have a good weekend. I'll see you all back next Friday.